How many of you ever heard of a gentleman by the name of Doug Dietz? No one. Doug Dietz is an innovator. In fact, he was one of the inventors, one of the gentlemen who was able to define and build the MRI units that we have in all of our hospitals. Doug Dietz was an individual who was passionate about what he did, and he would go around and travel to some of the hospitals to see how the MRI units were being used and utilized within hospitals. And he went to a children's hospital where they had an MRI unit. It was specifically, obviously, for helping out and for being able to scan children. And he discovered something as he was watching. To his horror, as the children would be getting ready to be put into the MRI unit, they would begin to freak out. They would panic and scream and be literally in terror over the idea of having to be put in these machines. Now, if you've ever been in an MRI machine, some of you understand they can be scary even as adults. Well, he was absolutely horrified. In fact, he took it personally that he was causing these children to be so terrified with a machine that was meant to help them out. And so he began to he went to the hospital personnel and he said, how often does this happen? And they told him that somewhere in the neighborhood of 80 to 90% of children had to be sedated before they could be put into an MRI unit. Doug Dietz said, that's not acceptable. I need to figure out a way to fix this. I need to be better at innovation. And so he went back to Stanford University, back to other universities. He began to talk to children's experts, and he began to try to figure out what they could do in order to change the way children experience the MRI units. So he went into a couple of children's hospitals and he tested it out there where he went in and he painted the MRI and he decorated it all up, and then he trained all of the staff by people who were used to working with children, and they began to make it an adventure. And the kids would come in to be tested through these MRI units, and they would be told that they were going to be entering into a pirate ship, and they were going to hear some noise, and that was just the ocean crashing against the unit, and it was going to be exciting and so much fun, but they had to lay very still because there were other pirates around, and they were going to be playing hide and seek against the other pirates. And so the kids started to do this, and as Doug watched at one of the hospitals, when one of the kids came out, went to running to her mom and said, "Mom, can we come back and do it again tomorrow?" They found that after they innovatively changed the way that children experienced MRI units, that the sedation, the need to sedate kids went from 80 or 90% down to 10%. Innovation. It was somebody who was willing to go and ask the right questions to the right people in order to do something significant within his industry. And so again, the question is, who are you asking? There is no better way, no matter how long you have been providing the product or the service that you provide, there is no better way to innovate and to change and to make it better than to ask the right questions.